So we all make mistakes. Let me just start from the beginning. So Jenee and I decided we wanted to run a race. By we, I mean I got overexcited and pushed us to do it. It'll be fun, I said. We began to look for races. I found the Piney Woods Ultra via the internet. It was in Tyler State Park, and I thought that was pretty neat. Also, the website rated it 4 out of 10 in difficulty level. Because of this, since we had also both run races previously, maybe not recently, but we had done it, I thought that was okay. 4 out of 10, that's, we have some experience doing races. And you know what? Maybe it would have been had I done correct math. That's right. I made a mistake. So I ended up signing us up for a 25K, which I thought was less than 15 and a half miles. You may think, yeah, you could have Googled that. Well, I thought I was doing the math right. I don't know what I thought 25K was, but definitely not 15.5 miles. I did not even realize I was wrong until July. And you know what? The race was September 24th. We trained the best we could. We went to the Mineola Nature Preserve, ran around there, ran around our houses. Along the way, Jenee was injured. We remained committed, after a few waves of doubt, mostly by myself, to finishing what we started. We were gonna do that race. So the day of the race came. I got up at 5:30 a.m. to get ready for the race. I ate breakfast, cheese and toast, and anxiously sat for 45 minutes before deciding to leave the house. I just like to be ready, okay? I arrived at the parking area, which was the side of the road, and parked. I had to walk a little ways to get to the start line, but it really wasn't bad. Or so I thought at the time. I was fresh as a daisy in the morning. While I waited on Jenee, I played Pokemon Go. And yes, it's still a thing. People still play. I don't care if it came out at 2016. It's still cool. I took a little break from my Pokemon going to watch the 100K runners start the race. Yes, I said that right. As insane as a person would need to be to run a 100K trail race, they all looked pretty normal and pretty happy. Watching them gave me a little boost of optimism. And by optimism, I thought, well, at least I'm not doing that. After the real crazies started their race, it was time for us regular crazies to start our race. And also people that did incorrect math, but were now fully committed to getting their money's worth. There was about 50 to 100 runners in our group. We were in the 25K and the 50K group. About 90% of the tiny silent prayers that were happening at the start line were coming from Jenee and myself. We really didn't wait there too long because the gun went off and off we went. We ran, we talked, we caught up on missed time. Then my Garmin 35 watch went off. It had taken us 14 minutes and 45 seconds to run mile 1. Not good. I justified the time. There was no way mile 1 took us that long. We had trained. My watch was wrong. That's been told to me enough. When Jenee and I were training, never did we have a 14-minute, 45-second mile. At all. Even at the beginning. Then mile 2 happened. 14:32. Dread began to set in. I'd also like to point out this was the fastest mile that I at least ran. We're not leaving here alive. We're gonna die on the trail. These are some of the thoughts that were going through my head. We're gonna just be left for the animals. So around this point, we decided to make it our personal goal to finish out the first lap, which was 7.25 miles, running the whole way. And we did. We did have to walk up a hill that was kind of long. We ran up most of it, but it was too much towards the end, so we had to walk up a little bit. We also made sure to hydrate as we went along and tried to not trip off a cliff. And turns out that was no easy task. There were rocks and roots everywhere. And we did not have trail shoes. I did not want to buy trail shoes for one race And I had almost bought new shoes just to continue training in and running in, but I'm very happy I wore my old ones. You'll see why later. As we were wrapping up the first lap, a worker yelled at us, "You better not be quitting!" I don't know what I looked like, but even my face wanted to stop apparently. In my mind, I got irritated. I would like to reserve the right to decide when I've had enough. Thank you. Stop making me think that I want to finish. We continued to run. About mile 9 to 10, Jenee and I parted ways. I was told to go on ahead, so I did. This is where everything got really hard. I can only describe my movements as floppy at this point. I had no purposeful coordination. From mile 11.5 to 12.5, I walked. I just flat out walked. I walked for the safety of myself and those around me. Then I got passed by someone, which wasn't new at this point, but this particular person stood out. I felt as though I could maintain her pace, so I began to trot once more. If she hadn't have passed me, I don't know if I would have made it. The sun was getting pretty high in the sky, and I was sweating from the heat. Then I wasn't sweating so much, which was also cause for concern. Because I am who I am, I passed my self-made pacemaker at the very end of the race. It felt good. After sprinting to the finish, or what you could call sprinting, I got a wooden medal. I won't lie. I wanted something nice and heavy. Nothing says victory like a weight around your neck and, something made of actual metal. I crossed that line, I got some water, and then I sat down 20 feet from the finish line. I get that sitting down post-run is not a good thing to do, but otherwise I would have died. So there's that. So our final results are such. I finished 4th place in our division with a time of 4 hours, 10 minutes, and 45 seconds. And Jenee finished 5th place in our division with a time of 4 hours, 33 minutes, and 33 seconds. All in all, we did pretty good considering how gosh darn hard it was. I would definitely say more like 8 out of 10 difficulty because it was difficult. It was not moderate. All right, here's the medal made out of wood. Things I liked about the race. Running on the trails. That was pretty cool. I really liked seeing all the nature, and it was definitely way different than anything I had done before. We had always run our races on the road. This was our very first ever trail race, and that was really cool. I liked the nature. All of the workers were nice and helpful. There were lots of bananas available. I liked that. I liked my t-shirt. Also, the runners were so encouraging. I don't think I've ever run a race that everyone was so incredibly uplifting. We were getting, well, I say we. I got passed by the same man 3 times. He was doing the 50K. And every time he passed, he had something nice to say. And I know he was saying nice things to everybody because Jenee, too, pointed out that man and he was just saying nice things to her as well. And we weren't necessarily in the same spot the whole time. That was nice. And there were others, too. And everyone was really polite when passing and all that. And there were some people who were really funny as well. So I can't say enough about the racers. They were great. Things I did not like. There was no Gatorade at the water stations, which maybe that's just a me thing, but I like Gatorade at the water stations. They did have salt pills. They had stuff available for you to use to replenish your electrolytes. I just wanted Gatorade. And I get maybe it's kind of sugary. I don't know what the deal was. Why were we against it? I don't know. They had Sprite at the water stations. They had Coke at the water stations. But why didn't we have Gatorade? I want Gatorade. I also didn't really like that it started at 7:30 a.m. I would have preferred an earlier start, considering how long I was running for and how hard the trail was. But I do understand it's in a state park, so there's critters about. And also, you need to be able to see the trail. It's not like running on the road where there's street lights. There was nothing out there. I also, as you may have guessed, did not like my wooden medal. I received it and I was immediately disappointed. I get that it's the Eco series. Maybe they're talking about the race, maybe they're talking about this medal. I don't know. I'm sure there's some point behind the wooden medal. I just don't like it. I want a medal, like the name suggests. So in conclusion, the Piney Trails Ultra was fun, but very challenging. For your first trail race, maybe don't do the 25K. Also be sure to check your math to make sure that you do not run a 25K on accident. Thanks for being here today. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on what we're doing over here. Hope you have a super awesome, spectacular day, and I'll see you out there somewhere. Bye.